Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance. Today's guide is a little different. Not because the hero is new. Not because the hero is broken. But because this hero meant something. If you've been playing Hero Wars for a long time, you already know the name Elmir. You remember the old days. You remember the chaos of DD, Sebastian, Jet, and then? Elmir jumping, cloning, overwhelming the field. You remember fights that felt wild, unpredictable, and alive. Elmir was once feared. He was once clever. He was once fun. And today, he's still here, but he's not where he belongs. This guide is not about pretending Elmir is meta. It's not about forcing him into teams where he doesn't fit. This is about how to build Elmir correctly at low cost, what he still does well, and why, in our honest veteran opinion, Elmir needs love from the developers to truly return. Because heroes like Elmir shouldn't be forgotten. Elmir is an agility-based warrior from the Nature faction, standing on the front line and dealing physical damage. Two of his skills scale directly with physical attack, and everything about his design revolves around misdirection, pressure, and numbers, not raw stats. He was never meant to win by brute force. He was meant to win by confusion. His basic attacks are physical, but his real identity comes from his clones. Those sand copies that jump in, take hits, distract enemies, and apply pressure in ways no other hero does. At his core, Elmir is a damage dealer who creates space. His first skill defines his rhythm. Elmir jumps to the backline, activates his clone mechanic if available, and begins attacking from range for 10 seconds. During this window, he gains a physical attack bonus, turning him into a temporary ranged threat while exposing the original backline hero that stood behind him. This was once brilliant design. Back then, this skill punished static teams. Today, it still works, but the game has grown faster, heavier, and far more punishing. His second skill summons a sand clone with 70% of Elmir's maximum health. That number sounds good. Until you remember the clone cannot be healed, cannot be supported, and slowly loses health over time. But here's the thing veterans understand. The clone's value was never durability. It was presence. It was one more body. One more target. One more interruption in enemy logic. Elmir's third skill commands his clones to attack. Clones created from his first skill continue firing from range, while frontline clones pressure the nearest enemy. In the past, this overwhelmed tanks. Today, it still creates disruption, but it no longer decides fights alone. And his final skill gives a chance to create multiple clones at once when summoning. 2. Sometimes 4. This is where Elmir shines the most, and where his weakness is also exposed. Because Elmir scales with numbers, not stats. And modern Hero Wars punishes anything that doesn't scale fast enough. So, how do we build him properly, without wasting resources? We build him honestly. At low cost, Elmir should never be overinvested. If you treat him like a main carry, you will be disappointed. If you treat him like a tactical tool, he can still contribute. Skins are simple. Physical attack first. Always? If you build only one skin on Elmir, it must be physical attack. No hesitation. No debate. Once that skin is finished, you move to his default skin, because it scales with physical attack and gives a bit of armor. That's it. Health, dodge, armor penetration, all luxury. All waiting. Artifacts follow the same philosophy. Start with his book, Alchemist's Folio. It boosts two of his key skills and improves what he actually does, damage and clone pressure. After that, move to the Ring of Agility. If resources are tight, you can stop here and Elmir will already be functional. Anything beyond that is commitment, not efficiency. Sparks of power should be maxed. They're cheap, they scale everything, and there is no reason not to. Skills must all be maxed. Elmir without maxed skills simply does not function correctly. Glyphs should stop at level 40. If resources are limited, focus only on physical attack, health, and agility. That's enough to keep him alive long enough to do his job. Hero level must be 120. Talismans matter. Elmir has 2 talismans, both relatively accessible. His first talisman, giving agility and physical attack, is absolutely worth picking up from Eternal Frontier. It gives him the stat efficiency he desperately needs. Evolution-wise, 5 stars are enough. Absolute star is a luxury and not required for Elmir to perform his tactical role. Now comes the hard part. The truth. Elmir still works, but only tactically. He disrupts. He distracts. He creates moments. What he does not do anymore is carry fights. And that's not because Elmir is badly designed. It's because the game has moved on. Heroes today heal more, shield more, punish harder, and scale faster. Elmir's clones don't scale with that reality. And that's why, as veterans, we say this with respect, Elmir deserves a rework. Not a buff. Not bigger numbers. A rework? He was once a symbol of creativity in Hero Wars. He deserves to be relevant again, not just remembered. We don't build Elmir today because he's strong. We build him because we remember what he represented. And maybe, one day, the developers will remember too. Guardians, if you're a veteran, you feel this. If you're newer, understand this is why old players talk about the good old days. Elmir is not gone. He's just waiting. And until that day comes, build him smart, build him cheap, and never forget what he once was. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.